welcome. This is another interview series speaking with a former student of St. Andrew High School. We are delighted to interview Mrs. Myrtle Henry, one of the first students to enter St. Andrew High School. At that time, it was known as Jamaica High School for Girls. Mrs. Henry, thank you very much for allowing us to interview you this morning.
You're welcome.
I know that you were one of the first students to enter St. Andrew High School, and we would like to know what was the reason why you attended St. Andrew High School, because there were other high schools for girls at that time, but St. Andrew High School was a very young school. But there must have been a particular reason why your parents took the decision for you to go to St. Andrew High School. Tell us about it.
Well, I was only 9, so the decisions were left to them to make. The first day I went, I stood up on Miss Garshaw's step. Miss Garshaw was the second headmistress. Her sister Jean was there for a year and got married and went away. And Margaret, her sister, took over. And Margaret looked out and saw me, and she called Joan Humphreys, who is now Mrs. Joan Levy, and said, take care of this little one for me. And Joan took me all around the school, showed me everything, and they were all in the same form, and she came and taught me how to play jacks. And in this form was also Evelyn Matalon. She was Evelyn Mordecai. She got married named Henriquez, and after divorce, she married Ziki Matalon. They are very close. The teachers, as far as I know, are all died. But we girls, Joan Wells, Joan Levy, Evelyn Matalon, and then Cynthia Smith came a little later and was in high school for some time, and then she went over to the primary or preparatory school as a teacher. The teachers, I said, they have all died. But Miss Garshaw taught music. And every batch of St. Andrew High School must learn her song. Cherry ripe, ripe I cry. Cherry ripe, rich and one and rich and red ones come and buy. Cherry ripe. And she taught it. And she actually, in the choir, I was in the choir too, and we went to Ward Theatre for a competition, and we won the prize. I'd be the best group of singers for schools at that year. Then we had Mr. Cousino. She was the second mistress, and she taught English in the upper school. Then we had Miss Feather, who taught maths, and there was Miss Featherstone, who taught French. Miss Hodgkin was a music teacher, and Miss Gray taught Latin and botany. Miss Garrow taught history, and Pixie Jones taught country dancing. Miss Williams taught Spanish, and Mrs. Williams, an old lady with the hair on top of her head, she was a matron. Any more teachers?
When you say she was a matron, she really was the school nurse. Because in today's world, when we speak about matron, we think about a hospital. So a matron really meant she was a school nurse.
I don't know what you'd call her, but of course at that time we referred to her as a matron. She used to look after all the girls,
right,
and saw the preparation of meals. And then we used to have lunch at midday, and then a teacher was always on duty to look around to see if the table manners were in order, and just tell them without embarrassing, come to see me here at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And she would pick out the girls that were not up to date, and they would come and show her, and she would compete with them and show them how to eat properly. Miss Sherlock, she and I were very close from the beginning. She taught English grammar and arithmetic. And she even put on a play once called Little Women, and I was Amy.
Okay, yeah.
Any more teachers? I told you Miss Hodgkin was a music teacher. Oh, Miss Harvey, she taught art. big lady with a mustache, remember her with a mustache. And after she left, one Miss Sinclair came and taught. Any more teachers? The music, I told you about the music. After she left, Miss Surgeon came in and taught it. And after Miss Williams left, Miss Surgeon's sister came and taught Spanish. If there's any more teachers here.
In those days, the classes must have been very small. I can imagine the amount of girls must have been about 10 to a class.
Well, as far as I remember, we had 75 girls, and Madeline McIntosh was the head girl at the time.
So that was 75 of the total population of the school.
Of the school, and we were put in the garage. They call it the remove. They call it the remove. It was away from its place, and it was old time because this place was built when it was buggies.
Yes.
So we were put in there. A form, we were made a form and put in there. I think I told you all the teachers that they had there at the time. Miss Feather and Miss Feathers.
What was your favorite subject at St. Andrew?
Well, Miss Featherstone thought I did very well at French. Subject for English grammar. I passed my Cambridge exam without any problem, but I hated arithmetic. So I left it out.
You left that out, yes.
And after school I went to business college and I became the first appointed accountant in the Bank of Nova Scotia.
But that must have been quite an achievement for you to become the first accountant at the Bank of Nova Scotia. You should have learned something about arithmetic when you were at St. Andrew. Could you tell us how St. Andrew influenced you to become an accountant?
Well, the all-round methods that they had, you know. It helped me all around. It helped me in English, and they helped me in simple arithmetic.
Yes.
Because by the time I went to the bank, it was quite, everything was simplified. It wasn't any difficult at all. And after that time, I didn't have to do arithmetic at all. I became the training officer at the bank, so I didn't have to deal with arithmetic, you know.
Yeah.
And I was the accountant at Hartford for 9 years.
Right.
Anything more you want to know?
At the moment, St. Andrew has 6 houses. And when you went there, you would have been in one of the 4 houses.
Yes.
Could you tell us which house you were in?
We had,
There was Ark.
no, yes, it was Ark.
There was Cabell. Cabell was red. There was Anderson. Anderson was yellow. Darling was green. And Ark was blue. Can you remember which house you were in?
Yellow.
Yellow. That must have been Anderson.
Ark
was purple. So, tell us what principle St. Andrew gave to you for you to prepare you for adulthood. St. Andrew was a fairly young school when you just started there, so they would have probably been based on the English school, the English grammar school. I'd like to find out from you what were some of the activities that you did there that prepared you for your career at the bank?
Well, first of all, I like tennis. So I was in tennis, but after that time I branched from tennis, I went to netball.
Yeah.
But I was keen on games, you know. But I taught a lot of discipline, you know. At St. Andrew High School. You got to be properly disciplined and prompt and